Hello friend. I want to tell you about the Dacia Logan II car. Despite the nicer packaging, it is still a simple and rather austere car, made only of cheap, hard materials, poorly soundproofed and in many places not entirely ergonomic. The comfort of the suspension springs is at a high level, but when it comes to comfort and driving dynamics, you should not expect miracles here. Nevertheless, Logan II drives well, provided that on longer journeys the shape of the seats does not tire you. The interior was not focused on a comfortable driving position or details improving usability, but on obtaining the maximum possible space. There is plenty of space in both the front and the back, and the trunks are capacious. The Logan's trunk holds 510L, Sandero 320L, and in the estate we have 573L. The Logan IA's equipment is clearly better than its predecessor. Although the standard version did not offer much, customers often chose cars with air conditioning, electric windows at the front or even a multimedia system. Even compared to the Fiat Tipo presented in 2015, the Dacia Logan presented a good level of equipment. Beware of cars with black bumpers bought for fleets, they have almost nothing on board. Contrary to appearances, the facelift brought many small, beneficial changes. Depending on the equipment version, the car could already have a reversing camera, the hill start assist system, the window control buttons were moved from the center console to the door panels, and the driver's seat received an armrest. The new design of the center console allowed for the installation of a bottle or cup holder for people sitting in the back, and a pocket for the phone appeared in the front. After the facelift, the stepway version for the station wagon and Sandero debuted, well-equipped, looking nicer and having nicer upholstery than other variants. Contrary to popular belief, Dacia Logan II is not built on the same platform as Renault Clio, although it shares many parts with it. This was the case with Logan I, which had the Clio 3 platform. In the case of the second generation, the MO platform is prepared exclusively for Dacia models, all those that were offered at that time except Duster. It is nothing more than a development of the BO platform used earlier. So in terms of chassis, Logan II was an extremely outdated car, but it received modern powertrains. The car was offered only with front-wheel drive. The suspension is McPherson struts at the front and a torsion beam at the rear. The steering is provided by an electro-hydraulic system. Every Logan and Sandero is equipped with ABS and especially. The range of powertrains was quite poor, although looking at it through the prism of today's manufacturer's offers, one might have a different opinion. Initially, the offer included a simple 1.2 MPI petrol known from the predecessor, but after the facelift it was replaced by a more modern, Euro 6 compliant, liter engine with 3 cylinders. Throughout the production period, a new, turbocharged 0.9-liter unit with 3 cylinders called TCE was installed, which had a power of 90 HP, and from 2020 it was replaced by a 1.0 TCE engine with a power of 100 HP. Dacia equipped these engines with a factory LPG installation. After the facelift, the 0.9 engine received a start and stop system. The range of diesel units is simply 3 power variants of one engine. Both offered throughout the production period, and from the facelift also equipped with a start and stop system and meeting the Euro 6 standard, and towards the end of production even in Euro 6D temp, which may be of significant importance for residents of cities with clean transport zones. Dacia Logan II engines. Petrol 1.2 MPI 75 HP. Petrol 1.0 SCE 73 HP. Petrol 0.9 TCE 90 HP. Petrol 1.0 TCE 100 HP. 1.5 DCI diesels, 75, 90, 95 HP. We can also mention cars offered on Eastern markets, including Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, which now occasionally appear here. These are very good variants with 1.68 volts and 16 volts engines, a bit more fuel hungry, but exceptionally durable, especially those produced until 2016. Practically all variants of Dacia Logan had manual gearboxes with 5 gears. After the facelift, Customers in some markets had the opportunity to order for the 0.9 TCE and 1.5 DCI engines with 90 HP, the Easy R automated gearbox with 5 for the petrol, very rare, only Logan MCV, and 6 gears for the diesel, even rarer, for selected markets. Which engine to choose? If you don't care about performance at all, even the basic units are a good source of power. Both the older 4-cylinder and the newer 3-cylinder can handle mileage and don't cause any major problems. They burn similar amounts of fuel, about 6 L, 100 kilometers. The older engine's work culture is higher, its dynamics are similar, but it requires more frequent maintenance, namely replacing the timing belt. The smaller engine has a chain. The ideal compromise between fuel consumption and performance is the 0.9 TCE unit, described in more detail in the article below. This is a practically trouble-free engine, giving Logan good performance, and burning an average of about 6.5 L, 100 kilometers and not requiring expensive repairs. It has indirect injection and durable mechanics, and despite the 3-cylinder design and small capacity, durability is above average. Very similar opinions prevail about the newer incarnation of this unit, the 1.0 TCE, also 3 cylinders. It offers even better, already pleasant dynamics. The engine is still installed in Dacias, of course after some corrections. However, they do not concern defects, but emission standards. Both turbocharged petrol engines tolerate driving on LPG well. However, both also have a common problem of very high fuel consumption in city traffic with the air conditioning on. Fuel consumption increases by about 50 to 60%. That is why if you are driving a Logan with a taxi driver, you are probably traveling without air conditioning. All 3-cylinder engines have a timing chain, which generally does not cause any problems. If replacement is necessary, you can buy a repair kit for about $150, although a complete set of all the elements costs about $350. The 1.2 MPI engine and diesel have a timing belt, $100 minus $120 for parts, which is worth replacing every 100,000 kilometers, although in diesels it lasts even twice as long. The 1.5 DCI diesels from Logan II do not cause excessive problems, although it should be remembered that these are modern designs with common rail injection, so they may require expensive repairs. In practice, you can easily buy relatively cheap parts for the DCI engine, and the only way is through injectors. There is no dual-mass flywheel in any diesel version. The performance of the 90 horsepower version leaves little to be desired, and fuel consumption oscillates around 5 L, 100 kilometers. In my opinion, the best source of power for Logan is the 0.9 TCE petrol for driving around the chimney, and the 1.5 DCI diesel, no matter which power variant, for driving in the city and on the roads. If you intend to drive this car for a long time, it is worth checking the condition of the diesel after purchase, and it will serve you for years. Other engines will also work well, although you can complain about the lack of power in them. Dacia Logan, what's breaking? After the Logan I, which had many childhood diseases, the new Logan turned out to be an exceptionally successful car. Although the styling and body are different, in many technical areas the second is simply a deeply modernized, highly refined first. This also means that this car, regardless of the service approach or the region in which it is driven, ensures great durability and does not bother the user with difficult-to-solve problems. Of course, the car has not escaped a few typical failures, and all of those described here also apply to Sandero. An example is the indicator switch, which also turns on the lights. Repair requires disassembly and checking the contacts, or involves replacing the entire switch. Another car problem is a cracked cooling system reservoir after a longer mileage. The crack causes fluid to leak from the system, which can consequently lead to engine overheating. If fluid is leaking from the system, it is worth starting the search for the problem with the reservoir. It is worth replacing it with an original one, because substitutes are usually of poor quality. Gearbox bearings sometimes need to be replaced, although these are quite rare cases and only happen in cars with high mileage. The suspension is quite durable and cheap to repair. In the front wishbones, the most common replacements are the pins, although the entire wishbone is not expensive enough to be necessary. A complete one can cost less than $25. The front suspension's design curiosity is the lack of stabilizer links, which are one of the most vulnerable elements of many cars. Here, the stabilizer is almost directly bolted to the wishbone, which saves the user money. There's absolutely nothing to do at the back, although after large mileage, two $25 beam bushings may require replacement. The body and chassis of Logan II do not rust at the same rate as Logan I. There is much better protection, although the durability of the paint is not very high. Usually, small corrosion deposits appear in points that are often hit, rubbed, on the joints of body elements, edges and technological holes. Serious corrosion is most often found on cars with a post-accident history.